in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. It's a new month. It's March. It's a Monday. And you're listening to ESPN 1170. Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. The Quad City's only local sports talk radio show.
And the best.
And the best. The Quad City's best.
That's right.
Sports talk radio show. T-Roy's out on assignment. Serge is still on the mend. Bomber's in studio with me.
Hey, guys.
We got a big month ahead of us. It's March Madness.
Yes, sir.
Time to start talking about brackets. So later on in the show, I think it's time to break down some of the brackets that a listener did for us. They did a different type of bracket. He's done it before, but we'll look at that later on in the show. It's about they made a March. Derek, you've had Derek on. You've been here when Derek calls in.
Yeah,
but he did it's like a movie series bracket.
Oh,
so
wow.
he had to have like at least 3 in the thing, and then he seeded it out, and there's 4 different regions.
Awesome. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you when we go to our first break.
Yay.
But yeah, we're back. We were off on Friday. I guess real quick, I had to. It's not one of those fun things. I went out of town. I went out of town for a funeral, and it was in Minneapolis. I went up, left early in the morning on Friday, came back on Friday, just was there for a few hours. But I have to say that I got to say something. It was for a lot of people in the area know who he is, but he hasn't lived here in a while. For Joe Longwell, I've known him since, I don't know, maybe I met his son in 6th grade, and he's a good friend of mine.
That name rings a bell. There's a lot of them.
You've met Longwell before.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, you've met Longwell. His father. But so the thing is, the service was great. Brent and Leslie and Joe gave wonderful speeches.
Oh, good.
And I got to see a lot of my friends and reminisce. And it was one of those things that I was getting texts from people that, like, hey, send the Longwells my best. And not only were the texts kind of the same as our conversation, but it was one of those things that we all just kind of found out, although we kind of all knew, but we never really shared the stories, that Mr. Longwell would take time to write notes to us when we were in high school and mail them to us. Like if you did like well in sports, maybe you had cut out a clipping, and he'd send it to you and say like, can keep up the good work. I didn't have a lot of those clippings as an athlete.
Oh gosh. But
I did have a nice letter from him that he explained that at that time the movie Rudy was just come out, and he explained that that all the parents in the stands were pulling for me, and when I finally got into the football games, it was like the Rudy moment. They were very proud of me. So not just that.
Is that a size reference?
Yeah, well, I mean, on deep on the bench too. But he again, stories like that where he would send letters to, and it's just one of those things. You just you think about it, and you're just like, man, I want to strive to do something like that. And don't get me wrong, when I used to coach high school, I sent letters to my athletes.
That's amazing. It's a lost art, I think. Yeah. It takes time and effort, and it shows that you really care. Yeah. So I would do that just because of what he did. But it was to sit with my friends and be like, oh, yeah, he sent me letters. And then the text. Yeah. Even coaches, he's like, yeah, he sent me 5 different letters and commented on how well his penmanship was. They don't make him like that anymore.
Yeah, and so he was great around here and great guy. But, that was my trip on Friday. But the weekend, volleyball tournament all day on Saturday. Those things take forever. Yeah,
yes, they do. All day.
And I don't know why I was blind to this. I spend way too much time arguing about why they don't call foot fault. But I guess
on the line,
there's another line that I wasn't aware of for the.
And in volleyball, for real?
Yeah, I know it's 10U and like, hey, relax or whatever else. But we were actually playing up an 11U tournament, but I didn't realize there was another line. So I'm wasting all this energy complaining about foot fault when there's a whole another line.
Well, they think that if you just your tippy toe touches the line, that it should be. It's not. You have to go over the line. You can't just touch the line. Yeah, I don't know. I played a little bit, but I miss it. That's a fun sport.
Is it?
Yes. I didn't in high school. You had to wear the booty shorts. And
Is it fun?
I love volleyball. I served a whole game, 15 points in a row.
kid. Well, in like a gym class, maybe.
No, in a game. It was in like 8th grade. It wasn't like a big deal, but I had a floater. When I would do underhand, the ball didn't spin, so it would go like this.
You can't do underhand. What coach was letting you do underhand?
It was 8th grade, Jay.
These kids are 11. They're serving overhand.
Yeah. Well, I had delicate wrists.
The weather was nice.
It was beautiful Sunday. The kids and I were outside from morning until dusk. Yeah. It was amazing. Went down to the river, went to the park.
Yeah, we were out too, and like I said, it was. And if for some reason, because I wasn't in studio on Friday, Saturday felt like Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thrown off all day Sunday, like all day, because I was at that volleyball from like 8 until 5. Yeah, 9 hours.
Yeah,
and then I was like, "Oh, my weekend shot," and I'm like, "Oh, I have Sunday. This is great."
Yeah, that's a good bonus. Yeah, it's like finding $20 in the pocket when you get them out of the dryer.
That's right. It's like that. But the news. I mean, obviously we have stuff to look at, the combine results and everything else, but the news that really is still the number one thing is the coronavirus.
Right. Drink Dos Equis. What's the problem?
Oh my God! Can we take a break real quick and we talk about this, about people? Like, what is wrong with people?
It shows you how rudimentary majority of society is in their thought process and what they can comprehend and what they can't. Just like, who's that singer that wore a jersey?
That's what I was going to say.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's for Sanders. No, it's the football player. Oh, my gosh.
What is wrong with people?
People don't see past the tip of their nose, Jay. And they don't think, and they don't, they just don't. They just...
So sales of Corona is down 38%?
Yes.
Because people refuse to buy it.
Corona had to come out and say, listen, guys, we don't have anything to do with a virus.
And then the singer you're talking about is Garth Brooks does a concert in Detroit, Michigan.
Sanders jersey, yeah.
He wears a Barry Sanders jersey.
Number 20.
He wore number 20. Hall of Famer Barry Sanders. Yeah. 20.
And it's a very obvious Barry Sanders jersey. It's not like it was a T-shirt. It was a jersey.
They get a photo of him walking down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a photo of him on stage. They've got this and that. And you've got people tweeting at, commenting.
Yes. I'll never listen to your music again.
I have all your albums.
Yeah. Throwing them away.
How dare you support Bernie Sanders? Look at Garth Brooks just blatantly supporting Bernie Sanders in 2020.
Yeah.
And they do. First off, I think we've well established that I waste a lot of time watching like bad television, and I can tell you about another show about that too. But that we tried to watch Saturday night. But I couldn't get myself anymore to read the Twitter.
Nope.
Because these people never commented back like, "Oh, man,
these people vote.
I'm a dum-dum."
Yes, it's
if people would be like, "It's Barry Sanders," it's Barry Sanders, or some people like, "I can't believe this,"
they don't care.
And then no one would say like, "Oh,
oops.
Man."
No.
Or like to like reshare it and be like, "I need to delete it, but I want to show everybody that I'm a goofball that doesn't know what I'm talking about."
People commit more these days to being wrong than swallowing their pride and admitting, they would rather save face and be wrong than admit they're wrong and take that little blow to their ego. It's amazing.
It's funny because when we sit there and again we will champion every time when something great happens on social media and everything else, but we'll also sit there and say like how bad it can be, which is a funny thing because the show was built on social media. But yeah, like you said, they'll just keep hammering, and so then I watch Saturday Night Live.
I do a little bit
religiously. Like I always have. It's just it's a fond memory from my childhood.
Same.
And I probably seen honestly,
it's not like it used to be, but it's still, there's some moments.
I still feel like since I could start, let's just say since 85.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen 90% of the episodes.
Right.
And even when they used to put them on Comedy Central, I would watch them and everything.
Reruns. Those are the best.
So then I really, and I like Colin Jost, and I like Michael Che, and I like Weekend Update. And if it's, and some of the skits are bad. Some of them don't end well, and I can critique them. But then I saw the next day that the term Trump slump was trending, which was a kind of a skit by Colin Jost, just kept saying Trump slump, trying to just show like you can just keep saying things over and over again.
And it'll trend.
And it trended.
Yeah, of course it did.
So then I made a post where I was like, I'm happy to see Trump slump trending, not because I disagree with his political ideologies. I just want Colin Jost to get his credit due because I still like Saturday Night Live. And immediately within 4 minutes, I was like, I'm taking it down.
You're going to get attacked.
I was like, I'm taking it down because I just don't even want to deal with someone just being like...
The negativity or the challenging.
Whatever, Trump did this and that. It's not a slump. And then give me facts. And that's where we're at, where I'm just like, oh, man, I'm trying to make a pro Saturday Night Live thing, like, good for this.
Anymore. And I've even stopped. I used to post political... Every once in a while, I'll post a little meme here and there. But, like, I even stopped. And politics are my jam. That's, like, my favorite thing. But I had to stop because people are just... They want to argue with you. Even if you can provide proof of anything, it doesn't matter. They're still going to argue it. So why waste your time?
Yep.
You know, it's just, and it's sad that people are so voluntarily ignorant these days that they would rather not research information and just, take it off of a meme and repost it as fact. Same with the Sanders and the Jersey and Garth Brooks and the Trump slump and what have you. And the coronavirus, I've seen so many false facts spread about that as well.
Well, here's what we have for confirmed cases of the coronavirus. There's been 85,950 total cases, 2,941 deaths.
And that's worldwide, correct?
That's worldwide.
Right, okay.
As of the death toll, actually overnight, as of early this morning, it had gone up. It had 3,038 as of last night, and the second person passed away in the United States. It was in Washington State. Are you aware of that?
I heard something about it on the news this morning.
This guy was 80. The other one was in his 50s. Both of them had declining health issues.
Well, but the flu, the standard flu, takes lives more often than the coronavirus has, especially if you're elderly or you're young.
Yeah.
Right. So I think. What do you think? Do you think it's contributing to mass hysteria, or do you think that?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because the facts. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting conflicting statistics.
Here's the things we need to look at when it comes to sports, because someone's sitting there saying, like, stick to sports.
Great.
The Tokyo Marathon, most participants and all spectators asked to stay home. Athletes ran along empty streets at the Tokyo Marathon. This event is a big build-up to the Olympics, but really what it's showing is the challenge that Japan faces with the 2020 Summer Games just months away. We talked about this last week, that it's not being canceled, but it is. They're eyeing this right now.
Yeah, I do.
Very much so. Multiple Serie A matches in Italy were postponed over the weekend to help contain the outbreak in Italy. Italy has the third most total cases in the world.
Milan, correct?
They have 1,128 total cases.
Okay.
They trail only China and South Korea. Officials from the NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball say they are consulting with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other organizations on a regular basis. The World Baseball Softball Confederation has postponed its final qualification tournament for the Tokyo Olympics. The 6-team event, originally scheduled for April 1st through the 5th in Taiwan, will now take place in late June. And here's one else for you. The National College Players Association, a nonprofit advocating for the rights and safety of collegiate athletes, has called on the NCAA to consider holding March Madness games without fans.
Wow. That's going to be the first time ever, and probably not happening again.
NCAA is going to do the hard pass on that one.
I can't see him passing up all that money.
Can
you imagine?
It's going to be we're still going to have this in Dayton, Ohio. They're going to.
Oh my God! Can you imagine though that being televised and there's nobody there? That's crazy.
Yeah. So it is affecting the world of sports. I don't know about it. Like, it doesn't. I'm not. I haven't gone out and bought. I haven't made a bunker yet. How's that?
I'm working on it right now.
All right. Did you go get? You get bottled water and?
Oh, canned goods. Lyric stayed home from school today. I got her digging in the backyard. The tunnel. Underneath the house.
Some things that 58 years ago today, Wilt Chamberlain scored an NBA record 100 points in the Philadelphia Warriors 169-147 win over the New York Knicks. breaking his own record of 78 points from 3 months earlier. He played all 48 minutes in the win. He also set NBA record for field goals attempted with 63, field goals made with 36, free throws made with 28, and most points in a quarter 31, most points in a half 59. During that season, Wilt averaged 50.4 points per game and 25.7 rebounds per game, the only 2,000 rebound season in NBA history. And that week, he averaged 73 points per game, exceeding 60 in all 4 of them. Obviously, the things were a lot different back then in the early 60s.
A lot different.
They were a lot different in the early 80s. A lot of times the NBA Finals in the 80s were on tape delay. But this game was played at the Hershey Sports Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania, of a town of fewer than 15,000 people. It was not televised, and there is no video footage of this that has ever been recovered. There are only audio recordings of the game's fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. He got done after that, jumped in his Cadillac. He headed to Harlem to celebrate in his nightclub, and he didn't go to bed till 8 a.m.
And we know what he did at that nightclub.
That's right, we sure do.
What's he known for again?
The 100-point game. Bomber.
That is not
Bomber,
it.
that's a 100-point game.
We all know what Wilt Chamberlain's known for.
But, yeah, the 100-point game, Bomber. That's what it's for.
That is not true. Wilt Chamberlain's known for a lot more than that 100-point game.
At the Combine over the weekend, Iowa's Tristan Wirfs set a new NFL Combine record for offensive linemen with a 36.5-inch vertical. He was higher than wide receivers Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. He tied another record with a 10-foot 1-inch broad jump, and his 4.85-second 40-yard dash was the fastest ever by a player who weighed in at over 320 pounds.
Did you watch that?
I did not watch a single
minute
minute
guy is
of
thick. Like, he is just a beefy, beefy boy, and he ran like a freaking gazelle. It was amazing to watch. You don't see people with that size run that fast. I was impressed.
Some other top performers from the drill. Henry Ruggs, the Alabama wide receiver, topped the 40-yard dash at 4.27 seconds. 4.22 was the record. Offensive lineman out of Fresno State had the best bench press performance with 44 reps. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Michigan wide receiver, had a 44.5 vertical jump. That was the best of the week. So
44-inch vertical jump.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
No.
I'm trying to picture it. 44 inches. That's a little under, what, 3.5 feet? It's 3.5 feet, correct?
Yeah, 36, yeah. 3 feet, 8 inches. Okay. No, wait, 44, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's just some of the things in the Combine, some of the things that are going on here. Well, we're going to have to take our very first break, and we're going to come back. We're going to recap the XFL. We're going to do my power rankings, take a look at the attendance, and then we're going to talk a little bit about DraftKings app that's going on there. Yeah. But we did, I think maybe there's something to be said about being healthy at this time, keeping our body healthy.
I told you, we're working on it at our house. Lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, early bedtimes.
So,
you gotta.
Maybe it's time to start looking at some ways to get fit and keep yourself healthy, you and your family. And I want you to contact Tim Hernandez from ID Life. Tim's going to help you to be healthier, have more energy, get better sleep, and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company that is revolutionizing the industry with customized nutrition. ID Life name stands for Individually Designed Life and was founded on the principle that no two people are alike, so everyone has unique nutritional needs. Tim Hernandez is your guy in the Quad Cities to offer you personalized guidance that is tailored specifically to your health factors and personal goals. Do you have health problems that may be holding you back? The doctors and scientists develop what nutrients you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you the most. Go to qchealth.idlife.com to sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today at 563-508-7221. That's 563-508-7221. So he can show you what makes ID Life different is you. All right, we come back. We'll do a little recap. Let's see how after halfway through the XFL, how attendance is going and how everything's how we did on our guess the spread, all that fun stuff. We'll be right back. Don't hassle us. We're local on ESPN 1170.
This is Ella Schmidt, the 106-pounder for Bettendorf, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Don't settle for the aggravation of sunken concrete around your home or business. Call Top Notch Mudjacking to fix your uneven concrete. Let us raise those sections that can cause unnecessary wear and tear to your vehicles at a fraction of the cost. We also offer joint and crack sealing to prolong the life of your concrete. Servicing residential, commercial, and industrial areas. We offer warranty, senior, and military discounts, and free estimates. Check us out online. Top-notch mud jacking. Don't settle. Jack it up.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatation, ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old, doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're here for traditions like game night or movie night, and for making them a little more special with a tradition of our own. Casey's Classic Taco Pizza, made fresh with delicious, high-quality ingredients and baked right in our store. And every day this month, you can get a large taco pizza for just $13.99. So order a taco pizza from Casey's and make your tradition more special, even if it's just a last-minute dinner. Casey's, here for traditions, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy, who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Get your maximum refund and your taxes prepared for half the price with AmeriFile.
I'm Christy, a single mom from Bettendorf. I got tired of paying $250 at H&R Block, so I went to AmeriFile. As advertised, they did my taxes for far less than half the price.
Bring in a copy of last year's tax return done by H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, or any other tax preparer, and we will cut your tax prep fees in half, guaranteed.
This year, AmeriFile has the best tax prep deal in town. Save hundreds having your taxes prepared with AmeriFile, and you get free Rudy's Tacos, free Whitey's, free Chick-fil-A, Hungry Hobo, or fresh blend smoothies. Trust AmeriFile's 30 years tax experience to handle any simple or complex tax situation. Remember, this tax season, save hundreds with AmeriFile, the best tax prep deal in town. Free Rudy's Tacos, Whitey's Ice Cream, or Hungry Hobo. AmeriFile Tax Centers, Davenport, Moline, and Clinton. Call 762-8087. That's 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com.
H&R Block is a registered trademark. After price taxes from last year's fees. $75 minimum.
No matter what time of year, the hottest sports takes are heard right here. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance.
All right, we're back. ESPN 1170. Don't hassle us. We're local. We're live in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. Bomber's in studio with me. Just got a text that Serge says he'll be on his way in the second hour, so that's fun. We get to have Serge back in here, and hopefully he's feeling better, getting along, getting around just fine. All right. So week 4, we're now halfway through the XFL.
XFL.
And I got the results from what we guessed last week.
You are not the father.
Yes, we looked at the lines for each of the game. We gave our picks. Bomber, you were in studio. T-Roy was here, and Adam from Front Street Brewery was in here as well.
Yes.
It was an off week this week. There was the totals, by the way, went 1 and 3. 1 to the over, 3 to the under. That's now 3 out of 4 weeks that it's gone 1 to the over, 3 to the under. And we'll take a look at that in a second. So, again, I said it's going to flip back the other way, but the most we ever got was 2 and 2 in week 3, 2 to the over, 2 to the under. All right, so the first game that we had on Saturday was the LA Wildcats at the New York Guardians. If you were paying attention on Thursday, this game was the Wildcats at -7. I did say that there was one concern that I have, and that was the Guardians bringing in, if they were going to, and they refused to mention who was going to start, if they had Luis Perez start for them. He's a name that we remember from the AAF. He taught himself how to play quarterback. So
they don't all do that?
No, it's like this weird backstory, and we can obviously, trust me, the people that are writing for the XFL will jump all of his story real soon about how he taught him. And even I can go back and look at it. I should probably do it as well. But what happened here was the Guardians, Luis Perez went 18 for 26 with 1 touchdown.
18 for 26.
Yep, he had 150 yards. And Josh Johnson, he threw for 330 yards, but he also had an interception, and the Guardians won 17-14. So the Wildcats do not cover, obviously, the 7-point spread. So the New York Guardians now are 2 and 2. They've won 2 at home. They've lost 2 on the road. That's something to keep an eye on when looking at a trend. In the Saturday night game, Seattle at St. Louis. This was another big spread. The spread was -12. St. Louis was dominating this game. And then in the second half, Seattle made a change to the offense. They brought in B.J. Daniels. I've said it before that I think the key really here is to have a mobile quarterback in this league.
Yes, you've said it many, many times.
And B.J. did just that. He went 5 for 10 in the second half. He had 100 yards. He did throw 1 interception, but he threw for a touchdown. And he also ran the ball. He had 7 attempts for 84 yards. The final score was 23-16. The St. Louis Battlehawks won, but they do not cover the spread. And then on the Sunday game, you got Houston at Dallas. Houston, I think by the time this was, it was like 1.5. It stayed about the same. We had 1 on Thursday. Houston is undefeated. And Dallas was one of the teams that were favored to win it. Houston won this game 27-20.
I called it. I said they would.
Thus, 27-20. And Houston covers the spread. Dallas does not cover at home. They're now 0-2 against the spread at home. The problem with Dallas here is Landry Jones threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter alone. And I did say that there was an over there. There wasn't an over. All the unders hit this weekend. So I'm wrong, because looking at the score, for some reason I thought Seattle St. Louis hit the over, but it didn't. Houston at Dallas was 3 points short. It was actually 3.5 points short, because that final score was 27-20. That's 47 total there. And then finally DC to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay had not won a game. They had put up some points the previous week at home. DC now did not put up any points. They put a donut. Tampa Bay won at home 25-0. If you remember when we had Jake come in and he gave us the line and it said DC was getting a point, we said run to the sports book, put your money on DC, and apparently the Vegas was right. This actually got bet up all the way to DC -2.5, so it moved 3.5 points.
A lot of upsets.
So yes, New York upset LA. Houston covers. They're fine. So the favorites went 1-3 against the spread this week. We're halfway through the season right now. But more importantly, how did we do? Bomber, you went 1-4 on your picks this week.
What?
Yes, you picked LA to cover against New York. That didn't happen.
I've lost my touch.
You picked St. Louis to cover against Seattle. That didn't happen. You did take Houston. That happened. And you took DC.
Yep.
I went 2-2 for the week. I took Seattle. I said that's too many points for a game like this. And I took Houston, so obviously the LA and the DC didn't cover for me. That moves me to 11-5 on the year on my picks. Adam went 1-3. He moves to 9-7, and T-Roy went 0 for 4.
Oh, T-Roy.
Yeah, moving him to
Oh, big fat donut.
6-10 on the year. So 11-5 I am so far. Did not see the DC game coming. Did not see that at all. But
I don't know what I am so far. But all I know
we
is
had you two. That moves you to 3. We had you 2-2 going into this week because you were late to the party. That moves you to 3-6 overall.
Oh.
Sorry.
Boo! I'm gonna stick to the NFL, man. They're easier to predict.
Some other things, though, to look at, because right about now is where you're going to say, is this thing happening? I've read some articles that they're already talking about maybe expansion. I don't know. We talked about that after week 1, kind of more in jest. The attendance for this week 4, is a grand total of 70,224 fans.
What was it last week?
Week 3, the grand total were 81, so it's down 11,000.
That's not bad.
Almost 12,000 down.
Yeah, that's not good.
But those numbers are higher than week 1 grand total. There was only 69.8 in the week 1. So week 3 was actually the highest. St. Louis had 27.5 in attendance. Just down about 2,000 from their home opener in week 3. So the average attendance. So if we go week 1, there was 69.8. Week 2, 76.2. 81.9 in week 3. And 70.2 week 4 for an average of 17.5 in week 4. It's not bad. Better than week 1.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
No, I mean, you'd expect it to be better than week 1, no?
Week 1, you think everyone gets the hype or whatever else, but then 2 and 3, you had some inflated because of home openers.
Or
but
maybe,
yeah,
I think we have more, I think there was more critics to begin with, and they're like, okay, this ain't so bad.
That's what I say,
yeah.
But, it's, it wasn't, like I said, there were some surprises here. The LA losing to the Guardians is the crazy one. I mean, Josh Johnson threw for 330 yards.
You don't think the DC defender's getting a big fat 0?
Yes, there's something going on here.
Yeah, what's happening?
I have no idea because they scored 9 the week before, so that's 9 points now in 4 quarters.
Yeah, they lost their mojo.
Sure did. That's where we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at our power rankings going into week 5.
Yikes!
Huh?
Yikes!
I know.
Okay. I'm intimidated now. I've never been this off when I do my predictions, but the XFL is definitely throwing me for a loop. So,
well, let's see. Last week the power rankings were Houston at 1, St. Louis at 2, LA at 3, DC Defenders at 4, Renegades at 5, Dragons at 6, Vipers at 7, the Guardians at 8. That's my power rankings. Nobody else's. Mine.
Jace.
All right. At number 8, going into week 5, power rankings, I have the Seattle Dragons at number 8.
Okay.
Still worried about Brandon Silvers, their quarterback, and whatnot. Moving up, staying the same from last week is the Vipers.
They're still 7?
They're still 7.
Okay.
Moving up to 6, dropping down, is the DC Defenders. They're at 6.
Man.
Moving all the way up from 8 last week to 5 is the New York Guardians.
Dang. Go Guardians.
Maybe I think they figured out their quarterback situation. That's why I moved them up. Okay, although they lost, and I know it's not going to really show much because you'll see it when I get the quarterback rankings. But the Renegades are at 4. They actually moved up. Only because the other ones, I can't give the Vipers too much yet. And I can't give the New York that big of a jump. And I'm really upset with DC.
Same. That's my team. Can I jump ship, or is it too late?
You can jump ship anyone. That's the beauty of a new league.
Man.
Now the top 3 stay the same. LA Wildcats are at 3. St. Louis Battlehawks are at 2, and Houston, the only undefeated team in the XFL, remains at 1.
All right, so that's your picks.
Those are my power rankings going into week 5 because there is nobody else out there that's a better expert than me.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll go with that. It's Monday. I don't have the energy to dispute.
Can't dispute it.
Never. I would never challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Sure. Now, the quarterback power rankings. At number 8. I don't know what's going on. Week 3, he said he's got to play better, and he did play better in the second half. He did not do much more in the second half of this game after throwing the 3 interceptions. At number 8 for the quarterback power rankings is Landry Jones.
Go Landry.
No. Not go Landry. He was 25 at 38 for 205 yards, but he threw 3 interceptions. It's hard to get back from that. At number 7 is the guy that came in the second half. For the Seattle Dragons, it's B.J. Daniels. He's going to get those Dragons out of the bottom of the power rankings. I can feel it.
Okay. I believe in you.
Okay. Then number 6 is where's number 6?
I can't read your handwriting.
Well, apparently I can't either.
Gee, it says PJ.
Oh, sorry. No, it's Cornelius, the quarterback of the Vipers. They're on their 3rd different quarterback. Aaron Murray got hurt and semi-benched, and Quentin Flowers left for personal reasons, and hopefully he comes back. But Cornelius, he played the whole game. He was 24 for 31, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then at number 5 is the new starting quarterback for the Guardians, Luis Perez.
Okay.
This one was hurt, but I had to leave him in there for now. But one more outing like this by Cardell Jones, and he's not going to be in the top 4 of the power rankings. He's right now at 4.
You're giving him one more chance.
I'm giving him one more chance.
I don't blame you. I feel you. Okay, you got to do that. One more. That's such a great name, too, Cardell Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a superhero in the 70s.
It does.
You know?
Then, at number 3, he was number 2 last week, is Josh Johnson of the LA Wildcats. Back in at number 2 is the throwing Samoan from St. Louis.
Yeah.
Jordan Teamu.
He's not on my team, but I like him.
20 of 27 for 264 yards and ran for 63 on the ground. And then the front runner to win the MVP, it's P.J. Walker of the Houston Roughnecks. He was 25 of 41, 239 yards. Did not have as many yards on the ground this time, only 5 carries for 17 yards. But still, he's making plays. He's got him undefeated. Right now, I got to give him the power rankings. But that top 3 can switch any way you want to. So if you're doing a DraftKings lineup, which I suggest you do, I love DraftKings, by the way.
Yes.
I love this DraftKings app. I don't really know anything of what I'm doing half the time. I got into NBA now. I get into tiers. I just
I have to download this now.
Oh, yeah.
You have to teach me, Sensei.
Yes, and you can get into like 25-cent things and win like
I've seen friends post their winnings on social media, and it's like $1,000 here, $800 here. So I'm like,
you have to be really good. I'm not really good.
Well,
I was following golf because when we were driving back from Minneapolis on Friday, I was like, hey, you want to do something? I was with my buddy Dave Martin. Shout out to him.
Remember Dave.
Yeah, fine principal at Eisenhower Elementary. As we're driving back, I'm like, you want to make a golf? And he's like, sure. I was like, let's do a DraftKings. We were doing an NBA anyway. So we did that, and then I don't even know these players, and I'm cussing them out on Sunday, be like, you got to do better.
Yeah. Golf, you're getting old when golf gets competitive in a car on your way home from a road trip with your boys.
I was texting him. I'm like, what is this guy? This Fratelli's a terrible golfer. Why did you tell me to draft him?
Who's your favorite golfer?
I don't have a favorite
Mine's
golfer.
Phil Mickelson.
I like to say Tommy Fleetwood because he's got cool hair.
Really?
No, I know what my favorite is.
Okay, Dennis Rodman.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Whoa! Say that again, slowly.
Bryson DeChambeau.
DeChambeau?
He's like this weird, like scientific dude. All his clubs are the same level.
So he has OCD, and you're making fun of him?
He won the national title at LSU. He also won the John Deere Classic in 2018.
I don't know who this guy is. That's probably why I stopped like 2 years ago watching, 3 years ago. I grew up, my parents live on Oakwood, and they used to live across the street. So I remember growing up, they had the golf classic at Oakwood. Do you remember that? In Coal Valley? So we would walk across.
That's where the John Deere Classic, isn't it?
The John Deere Classic, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so we would walk across the street, and we didn't have to pay. We'd sneak in through the neighbor's backyard, right across the street. Now they live there, so we wouldn't have to do that. But remember who's the guy, the big drinker?
John Daly.
John Daly. I was standing right there, and a little girl had a lemonade stand in her backyard, and he came up, and he goes, how much for all of it?
Oh.
Wasn't that sweet? And he just gave her a $100 bill. So I was like, he's not a bad guy. And then my grandma used to drive, volunteer drive him around. She's like, when he got out of the car, there was empty McDonald's wrappers and beer cans and everything else in the back of her car. So he, it's hit or miss with him. But golfers, they take it seriously, and it's more skill than luck. I hate when people say it's luck. This is the hardest game to play. I've never cussed more in my life than when I golf.
I don't golf.
What?
I don't like it.
Why?
I just don't. It's not for me.
You got to go with the right people.
Everybody says that.
You do.
I'm not good at it. I don't.
Nobody's good at it.
I think it's frustrating.
It is.
I don't think it's peaceful. I think of Mark Twain when he, golf is just a good walk spoiled. A long walk spoiled.
Oh my! Well, that's the way to look at it negatively.
It's not negative. I don't really like. By hole 3, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I like it.
No one says it. Oh, you go with me. I'll make it fun. I don't know. But I like the competitiveness of it.
I like going by myself.
I'll watch the Masters, and now obviously I'll get into a DraftKings lineup.
Yeah, well, you got to study it now. You're going to get more as you get older. I think that you slow down a little bit, go with your buddies, drink beer, drive around. You don't have to be rushed. If it's a private club, you have to rush.
The key is to remember on Wednesday to do a prep to guess on our DraftKings on the show. But sometimes I forget, and the next thing you know, it's Thursday, and they tee off, and I'm like, oh. But the good thing about DraftKings, though, is that you can, once they make the cut, from Thursday, Friday, you can just do weekend tournaments. All the guys left that made the cut.
Okay, I'm going to download it before I leave today.
It's fun. I did it, again, the NBA one's pretty easy because you don't have to do, there's some you can just do tiers. They'll give you, 5 players out of tier 1, 5 players, and you just pick which ones you think is going to do well, and you don't have to worry about budgeting under $50,000, the fake $50,000. But yeah, I don't think it's outrageously priced to get into. Some of them you can get into big time ones, but I'm not doing that.
But you can play with real money as well. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been on there.
All right, we'll show you around the app. It's fun.
All right, cool.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break. When we come back, Bomber.
Yes.
This is up your alley a little bit because we're dealing a little bit of politics. We're dealing a little bit about sports.
Oh, I love my alley.
There's an Iowa bill that passed on the floor and it's moving to Senate.
Okay.
That is going to allow.
Uh-huh.
Middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Oh, God.
The opportunity to opt out of PE or to get PE, to get PE credit for show choir.
Show choir.
Yes, we're going to talk about it when we get back. We will debate whether or not.
Good grief, Charlie.
Does this meet the standards that you should be able to get credit, physical education credit
for doing jazz hands?
Okay. We're gonna talk more about it when we get back. But first, I want to tell you guys about the Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. The Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli meat on their menu. They use fresh ingredients, and orders are made from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to the roasted beet and green bean salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. And don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make and their incredible dinner entrees. Go to their Facebook page. More importantly, go to their Facebook page. March 4th, they're hosting a game night. Bring your family together. They're going to have food there. Play some board games.
Yeah.
Just get out and get off your phones and do that.
Yeah.
We'll share that on Facebook as well. Go to their Facebook page, and you guys can see that as well. That's Bayside Bistro. Stop in there today at 1105 Christie Street in the village of East Davenport. And if you're hosting private events, okay, it's right graduation's right around the corner.
Absolutely.
Things like that. If you need catering options for things like that, if you have special diets for gluten-free or plant-based diet, you can go ahead and get a hold of them. It is locally owned. It's right down, right in the village of East Davenport. Mm-hmm. Fantastic place. They've been on the show before. Great people down there.
Awesome people.
That's Bayside Bistro. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the bill that is saying that they might allow students in high school and middle school to opt out of gym and get credit for show choir.
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast, friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy who is feeling older every day, and I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
In walks this 24-year-old brown-haired lady nurse, and she goes, I'm going to be the one removing your catheter. Oh, God. Then she goes, I have to tell you this. She goes, I've never actually done this before. What? Well, go practice on a dead guy.
Don't miss Billingval, live for 2 shows Friday, March 6th, Rhythm City Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at rhythmcitycasino.com, by phone, and in person at the Market Gift Shop.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking things. All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugotz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing.
Oh, it's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye, and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it.
Oh,
it is
right in the garbage.
Right off the
right in the garbage.
I'm going to throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
So you're what they call an industrial athlete, but this ain't no gym. You're working hard. You got the right tools to get the job done? Would you play football and roller skates? I don't think so. So if your gear is beat up, tore up, all around mucked up, come on in and boot up at Quad City Safety, 5311 Tremont Avenue, Davenport. Or check us out at quadcitysafety.com.
At a time of personal loss, we each express our feeling in our own way. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory recognize that no one service is right for everyone. That's why we offer various options for the most appropriate service, the most fitting farewell, and personalized attention to detail. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
Get local sports on Alexa. Enable the ESPN 1170 skill. Then tell Alexa to play ESPN 1170 and listen to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Noon to 2, only on ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170. I want to thank you all for listening. Reminder that you can listen to us anywhere you go by downloading the app and putting it on your smartphone. Go to wherever you download apps and go to ESPN1170am.com. Same thing, you can listen on your laptop at ESPN1170am.com. And obviously you can listen on Facebook Live. Leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. Right now, we were talking about, we just brought it up, that there is a bill that passed the House. It's on the Senate floor. That it's an act that is trying to change the physical education participation requirement for high school students under the educational standards. What this is doing, it will say that show choir, a middle schooler, a high schooler would be able to get credit for PE if they're in show choir. Okay? Basically, where some of the things are is that it says, some of the amendments, it says, like show choir, if the student's participation per week in show choir is at least equivalent to the per week participation required for 1/8 unit of physical education, it should be allowed. Students in grades 9 through 11 may be excused from the physical education requirement in order to enroll in academic courses not otherwise available to the student if the board of directors of the school district in which the school is located or the authorities in charge of the school, if the school is a non-public school, determine that the students from the school may be permitted to be excused from physical education requirement. What it is saying here, it is saying that if you are in show choir,
jazz hands,
you may be excused from gym and get your credit from there so that you can take another course to open up, so you can take more AP courses or you can take, for college credit. What's saying is that it's they're saying they're putting this much time into it. They want to get credit for show choir. It's not like it's not saying in the actual bill that you get an off period. How's that? It's
you
saying
have to
that
switch it with something else.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The student may be excused by the principal of the school in which the student is enrolled in consultation with the student's counselor for up to one semester, trimester, or the equivalent of the semester or trimester per year if the parent or guardian of the student requests in writing that the student be excused from physical education requirement. I know. The student seeking must be excused from the physical education requirement, must at some time during the period for which the excuse is sought be a participant in show choir or in an organized and supervised athletic program which requires at least as much time participation per week as 1/8 of the unit. We already went through that. All physically able students in grades 6 through 12 shall be required to engage in a physical activity for a minimum of 120 minutes per week. So, that's saying you've got to be putting in 120 minutes of show choir prep.
Okay.
To be able to get out of this.
A week.
Yeah, a week, yeah.
Hour and a half a week. And that gives you all the credits for a gym class daily. It doesn't seem equal, though.
Well, the thing is, what you're going to look at is you're going to look at standards. All right? Now...
Yes, Andy. He said, wouldn't that be like students who play sports could argue that they don't need gym as well? Absolutely. Especially those who play...
It did say something in there that when I was in high school, you could opt out of gym if you were in a sport. I don't believe you can. PE. I'm sorry for those of you out there.
Jim.
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah. But there are certain standards that you need. Let's just look at some middle school standards, okay?
Okay.
Demonstrates competency in a variety of motor skills and movement patterns. Wouldn't you say movement patterns is choreography to songs?
Well, see, I don't know. It depends. Show choir could be no movement. I mean, it's not Irish dancing all the time. I was in drama and stuff like that, and we didn't do a whole lot of stepping, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I just quit replacing stuff with stuff. Just leave it.
Standard 2 applies knowledge of concepts, principles, strategies, and tactics related to movement and performance. Wouldn't that be applying the knowledge of concept or tactics like your jazz hands? For
do you have to be
related
coordinated to go like this? I mean, I remember my kids did this when they were like 6 months old. You know what I mean?
In 8th grade, some of those things to find out applies knowledge of concept principles. It would be to execute at least 3 of the following offensive tactics to create open space. Moves to create open space. You have to move. But that says dealing more with the ball. Yeah, that's... Anyway, let's get some other standards. Demonstrates the knowledge and skills to achieve and maintain a health-enhancing level of physical activity and fitness. I don't think they're moving that much.
They're not at all. They're not.
During the practice.
They don't even move that much in phys ed already. My kids played. Cooper came home the other day. He's like, we were using a scooter. I'm like, watch your fingers, buddy. But what physical? I mean, they're just scooting around on their butts. I get it. You're moving around and stuff. But I remember when we were in gym, it's like sprints. Remember that? We'd have to do the full court sprints and back and sprint. It's to burn their energy and what they consumed as far as calories that day.
Exhibits standard 4 exhibits responsible personal and social behavior that respects self and others. I'm sure you're doing that about how to interact with people.
That's just social skills.
Standard 5 recognizes the value of physical activity for health enjoyment, challenge, self-expression, and or social interaction. I can see the argument where someone can say that it hits the standards. I really can. Unfortunately, I just don't see how show choir.
No, that's art. First of all, that's an art. That's not a physical education.
There's all kinds of questions I have.
Okay.
Do they make cuts in show choir?
But not for physical movement. No.
No. Do they say you are not good enough to perform? You're going to have to find another activity besides show choir.
No.
That's where the competition part comes in my eyes about an activity, all right?
Right, yeah.
Sport. You have to be good enough to make the sport.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're catering to we don't want to upset these very fragile.
I understand the point where they say gym is just taking up an extra time where I could be getting AP, but we also have a situation where
obesity is an epidemic in the United States.
Very good. But you can take community college classes while you're in high school.
Yeah.
You know, online is a much different thing than when I was in high school. It wasn't there.
No.
You know, I sit there and, like, for example, my neighbor, she graduated from high school and she was telling me what she was taking her freshman year at Iowa State. And I said, well, what about your gen ed? She's like, I knocked those out already.
They did that. Well, I went to private school, so we couldn't do that. We weren't allowed to do that. But I know people who went to Moline and they graduated early and they were taking college courses before their graduation date. So I think it depends on the school.
Anderson says on the Heritage Pub comment thread, why do we do a square dancing PE? They're still trying to do it. They do Dance Dance Revolution in PE. It's movement. It's fine.
Well, it is movement. It's so, I don't like that.
Here's the thing. My kid's going to have a PhD because of his TikTok videos. He doesn't even he's never going to have to go into gym class again. He's 8.
Our gym teacher got fired for making sexually inappropriate comments about the people in the women in the class, and for he tested positive for a drug test. So, you know, I guess
what does that have to do with this?
I'm just saying, like, Jim. And he was obese as well. So
where does it end? Like, what is my son able to put together a compilation of that he did 120 minutes, right?
Yeah.
A week of TikTok videos?
Yeah.
He's like, look, here's my log.
They're dumbing them down on purpose. They're trying to, come on. They want us to be fat, lazy slobs that go to work, run the machines, come home, and do it all over again the next day. That's it. That's my theory. I think they're dumbing down the kids more and more. Take A&P. Well, I don't know. It's not physical activity. I think
we also, if you watched it in this, actually over the weekend, KCRG out of Cedar Rapids reported on this, and they've done a good job. I've been following them, but they had the show choir teacher in there, and he's like, well, you know, the students are at a weird age where they're no longer little kids, and they're not adults.
Right.
Bomber.
Yes.
They're teenagers.
Yeah. Preteens and teenagers. Correct.
That's what they are. We're not. I don't know why we're making a thing where the anxiety of high school is tough enough as it is.
Did you have anxiety in high school?
No.
Me neither.
Well, I mean, I think everybody does.
Maybe your first week, your freshman year.
I mean, it's the thing that
God, we're making our kids emotionally weaker and weaker and weaker.
It's like the best, one of the best lines, but out of Breakfast Club, and I just put on after I watched it last weekend with Sophie. We're all a little bizarre. Just some of us are better at hiding it. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
How you adapt to it or whatever.
Absolutely.
But I just don't think at all like why show choir. One, it doesn't have well.
If we keep conforming to the kids, what's going to happen in society? These kids are going to grow up and think that society is going to conform to them.
But this opens a door because then you have, and I'm assuming, and if schools can tell me if I'm wrong or whatever else, but like your dance competition.
Yeah, that would count.
The performing, or your cheerleading should fall under it, right?
Absolutely.
Because they're doing the activity, they're doing throws and everything else.
Right, premarital in high school.
Now,
there are a few of you out there that did that. Don't lie.
If you're in an esports club and it hasn't been sanctioned yet.
If you're in an esports club that hasn't been, I don't know. Yeah, what are the rules? What are the stipulations? They have to be sanctioned, approved by the city. You can be like, I ran up and down I walk my dog every night. Does that count? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who makes up the rules for what counts and what doesn't count? Just leave things where it is.
I just struggle with it because I want to be like forward thinking and say like, yes, it hits the standards to a point. Are they doing this on a pass fail? Are they giving them grades? Because the moment you give them grades, then you're in trouble too.
Yeah.
You didn't hit that jazz square on when we were doing that Justin Bieber song. I asked you to work on it. And you didn't do it, and you didn't hit you didn't hit the E flat like I asked you. Yeah. So is it what are the standards going to be for this? That it meets, needs, exceeds?
How do you prove that you did it too? Like, what if you were in the choir and you're the one?
The teacher has to give them that.
You're doing the triangle. Is that?
That's not show choir doesn't do that. That's
the
orchestra.
Do all that stuff.
No, they what they'll do like a little twist or whatever else. They'll do like they'll do like a swing dancing, and then they sing a song.
It's like Broadway.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like Broadway. But they still have little parts where they're not physically active. So
I don't want to sound like ignorant or naive because the thing is I've performed on stage before.
So have I, yeah.
When I was younger, I was down at the Adler. I sang and danced and everything else. So it's not like I had an opportunity to join a traveling like a show over in Russia. You can look it up. The thing's called Peace Child or whatever else. It was crazy. But
Did you go?
No, I didn't go. I had things going on.
Did you meet Putin?
No, this was back in this was like 1990, but
he was still there.
I didn't look at this and be like, "Oh my goodness."
No.
This is I'm getting all my my competitive desire and activities that I need right here on this stage.
This is exhausting. I need Gatorade. When you were done?
No.
Then that's not physical activity. Good grief. Charlie Brown. I'm over it. Schools need to.
It opens the door to way too much.
It does.
I don't know. Like, I guess the argument is it hits standards, but standards are anything you write. Someone's going to say it's meant for this, and someone's going to say, well, it's subjective. They're going to make it work their way, right? It's like in a persuasive argument. You're going to find something that works your way.
They're going to manipulate it to fit their agenda.
Yes.
100%.
And then I get I don't know. We all have to learn how to juggle classes. And just because you didn't get in you don't have the PE schedule doesn't work with the class you want doesn't mean you change.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to opt out of it, first of all, at all. You shouldn't be able to have that control. It should just be a mandatory thing that you do. Just like when you go to college, you're not going to be able to opt out of gen eds. You have to take them. You have to complete that. That's a requirement. We got to quit giving these kids so many options, giving them so many choices when they get out in the world. And I have relatives like this. They think that everybody's going to cater to them and they're going to be able to, manipulate their employers. And they get, no, that's not how it works. This is, no.
Yeah, Anderson Road again, BHS, Bettendorf High School has early bird PE. I took that too.
I took early bird, but it wasn't PE.
I took early bird driver's ed too. They used to have driver's ed in school too.
I did that. I took the private one. At Rocky, you had to pay. I don't know. It was early bird, yeah. Man, I miss the old days. But our parents said the same thing. I don't know. Homeschooling is looking better and better.
No, it's not. Then they're at home all the time.
Right, but they're not.
That's the other. No, it isn't. Because no, it's not. Because this reminds me of a story that was that it was a year ago, if not 16 months ago, that it was a student that basically came home, said to their parents, like, hey, here's the information. I want to study at home. Brick and mortar is not for me. And I just can't imagine coming home telling my father, like, normal school's not for me. Here's what I want to do. I want to wake up at about 10:30, 10:45, log onto the computer. I'll go at my own pace.
That's called college.
Still graduate, but it's just not for me.
No. No. And I went to private school. Our grading system was harder. It was like a college grading school. So I was like C average, but in public school, I'd have been like an A-, B+.
And again, I can see the argument. I don't want there to be like the old man yelling at the clouds thing, but there are certain things, and I have students my kids are students, and I used to be a teacher. So I feel like I have something to say about this.
Well, yeah, and you've coached.
Yeah.
As well.
But it's also like when they're taking away the class rank. because
it hurts the people's feelings that didn't make it to the top.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Because high school is stressful enough as it is. They don't want the anxiety of being ranked.
Is it wrong that I have a physical reaction to this?
No, not at all, because I do too.
No. Do you think it's making it easier for kids that aren't athletic? Like, they're like, it's okay that you're not athletic. We'll just give you credits for this, okay? Mm-hmm. It's like giving something for nothing. You know what I mean? It's like you just said, it's taking away the class. You worked your butt off all 4 years for this, but we're going to take it away because we don't want to hurt their feelings because they didn't make it this far. Same thing with this. You're not athletic. You don't, excel in this class, so we're just going to, you're in this, so we'll just give you those credits for that. They're making it, I don't like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm kind of all over the place, but yeah.
But that's the other thing. Are there cuts from show choir? Are there going to be kids that don't want to take it, that think that they're going to go there, sing flat, hurt the possible show choir if they have to put them in everybody has to be on stage?
I don't know. I know in theater you get cuts. You try out for a part.
Yes.
Show choir, I was in choir, but there was no cuts in choir. I sang since I was in 5th grade, and I don't know. I didn't high school.
Maybe I need to go to a show choir event.
Yes.
And then I'll be like, all right.
We should go live.
I'm not going live, but I'll be like, oh, okay, that was a good rendition.
Do we have anybody that has kids in show choir? Like, how physically demanding is it? Anybody? No?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to ask.
I feel like I have these conversations a lot more off the air than I do now, and maybe it's just because I'm talking to more parents and school districts and worrying about things in the future and whatnot. But I really believed when I was in. Honestly. So, all right, we're looking at it now. Let's do 20 years ago. Education was saying the same thing. People in education were saying the same thing about kids then. Mm-hmm. They're softer. Their hands are tied as teachers for any type of not punishment's not the right word, but for classroom management. They were saying the same thing.
It's true.
Kids are out of line.
Do you remember kids punching teachers back then? No.
A little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, do you have to? I mean, but it's not. It wasn't. Everything wasn't on video. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's like people say kids weren't kidnapped back. Yeah, they were. You just didn't hear about it.
So. Yeah. And I just remember thinking and having these conversations saying like, well, but we were raised, to respect the teacher and the classroom authority and you're there, raise your hand, everything else.
Absolutely.
And I said, by the way we were raised, we're going to raise our kids that way. So it's all circular and it'll all come back to being right, what we consider right. And it's not working that way. It's not going that direction.
Well, you know what I think the problem is too many parents are disconnected. And it's not the kids that are spending too much time on their tablets and their iPhones and things like that. It's the parents. So the parents aren't parenting. They're letting kids parent themselves. They're not getting any discipline. They're not getting any structure. They're not getting any routine. And then at school they're getting catered to, and everything is being conformed to their abilities versus them conforming to the standard.
It goes back to what you said before. If you just keep yelling your point over and over again, eventually someone's just gonna
give in. Yeah,
they go, I can't. Fine.
Right.
They go, fine.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? It's weak. I don't like it one bit.
And that's what's going to happen here. But the thing is this is opening the door. Yeah. It's not just show choir. Mm-hmm. I honestly, there's got to be dads and moms out there listening that have their kids that are in competitive cheer.
Yeah, it should absolutely count.
So that's got to fall under it.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Now they've opened that door. Absolutely.
I think Assumption is KKD, their dance group. Bettendorf is the Gold Dusters. I don't know what the rest of them.
The Crop Dusters at West. I'm just kidding. I don't even know.
No, I don't know. I forget what they were. I forget their dance team, but that opens the door for that. And then, like I said, there's a whole new thing when esports are going to be involved here.
Be like, my kid went grocery shopping with me last night. He should get credits for gym.
Well, that's what. Actually, Erickson said that on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. Well, if they take home ec, shouldn't that be science? Shouldn't that be because they're mixing ingredients? It is a science.
It is a science. Yeah. And an art. Yes. We both.
I don't know. Like I said,
if you're not athletic and you can't sing, you're in trouble in this world. Well, it's a good thing I can do both, huh, Matthew?
I'm going to keep looking at this. I'm going to put something together. Again,
get older.
You can see it in the standards. These are just middle school standards that they have for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade PE class. Demonstrates competency in a variety of motor skills and movement patterns. That's a choreographed dance right there.
Okay.
Applies knowledge of concepts, principles, strategies, and tactics related to movement and performance. That's, again, about the same thing. That's creating space to allow the other couple or the other people on your thing to move into your space and not run into each other while doing dances. Okay. You can see I can do this. I can do this all day long and do the argument. Demonstrates the knowledge and skills to achieve and maintain health-enhancing level of physical activity and fitness. We got to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
What is that thing? Dance Dance Revolution? Not Dance Dance Revolution. What's the thing? Just Dance on the Wii?
Yeah, my daughter plays that all the time.
See?
Yeah, that counts. I want my PE credit. She's made me do it. You know, she does it. Can I call her principal and be like, we should get some PE credits for this?
The knowledge of like, hey, if we did this many steps in, it will get our heart rate up and we'll be in there. The standard 4 exhibits responsible personal and social behaviors and respects itself and others. Yeah, there you go. Be nice to one another.
Credits.
Yeah, listen to everybody's opinion, and don't just downplay if they have an idea. If they say, hey, we want to snap instead of our fingers here instead of jazz hand, listen to them.
I chewed gum today. I burned calories. That's a gym credit.
Recognize the value of physical activity for health, enjoyment, challenge, self-expression, and social interaction. Again, that hits the standard of like, all right, I have value here because I'm using self-expression with my voice and my movement. And it is challenging to learn these and execute them. And it's physical activity. I'm moving.
Now, where is this? This is Bettendorf, you said?
This is in the state of Iowa. It's on the bill.
Well,
I have the bill. Hold on, right in front of me. This is it. It was
doing a lot of stuff lately that I don't agree with.
It's Senate File 2041, introduced by Mathis Hogg.
What? I did not do that.
Bisignano, Taylor, Jokum, Zahn. If you know any of these people, you can write to them.
Yeah.
Smith, Giddens, Bolton.
There was more than one person that agreed to that?
Yeah. This bill permits a high school principal to excuse a high school student from physical education requirements under the educational standards of Code Section 256.11 if the student is participating in show choir for at least the equivalent amount of time as is required for 1/8 unit of physical education.
1/8 unit.
The bill also... Here's the other thing. If we're arguing for the high schoolers that they can now take an extra, it opens up time for them to take a class like AP, they're not in middle school. They're not doing, why is middle school on this list of exempt? They have classes that are, do you know what I'm saying? You're not signing up for electives in middle school.
They have no electives.
No, they're taking all gen eds.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, their only electives are for band. That's about it, right?
But it's extracurricular. I think if you have a study hall, you have to like stay after for that in middle school. You don't even get to...
Middle school shouldn't be... No middle schooler should be able to sit there and say, like, I'm not in PE. I need to get out of PE.
No middle schooler should have a say in anything. Neither should anybody in high school. Until you're 18, you don't get to do this stuff. Live under my rule if it's my rules. I'm talking to my kids right now.
I think it's going to pass.
Figuratively. You think it's going to pass?
I do. It already made past like I said, the Senate floor. It's got to make it to... got to do the House now. Like, you could, it just Google searched it earlier.
It passed in the House, did you say?
Yeah, hold on.
Of course it did. Oh, man. I'm telling you. I should check in on Lyric, see how my bunker's coming. We're going to be living down there sooner than later.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, on Tuesday, this was last week, Tuesday of 2 weeks ago, a Senate subcommittee advanced the bill to the full committee. If passed into law, parents would write a request to the school. The school district would then review it and decide if the student's involvement meets physical education requirements because they're in show choir. Anyway, I knew that'd be up your alley. It's something you like. I'm going to
Yeah, it's just annoying. Thanks for that. Now I'm stressed out. My blood pressure's higher.
I'd rather hear people's arguments and be like, oh, it most definitely is. I mean, it's moving, but...
Well, it's like, and then they force these classes on our kids, too, like sexual education. A letter came home with my daughter. She's 9. About how they're going to be discussing certain things and you can opt them out. Absolutely 100% opting her out. I don't want somebody she barely knows to be teaching her about these things 5 years too early anyway. But these schools are getting too involved in the parenting aspect of raising our kids.
Oh, my goodness. This is Bomber. This is where we need to just turn this stuff off of ESPN and start a podcast and talk about it, because I got more stories for you than you could ever imagine about.
I'm sure
things that are going awry, like whistleblowing anonymous lines that you can call for high schools. Like let's just say if you saw something that was like I saw somebody vandalize this computer, but I don't want to say anything, type of thing. Instead, they're using it to be like, hey, such and such is having a party.
Oh my God!
And I wasn't invited,
so they can suspend him from the sports or do something like that.
I wasn't invited, so I'm going to go tattle on him. These are the things. Anyway, we got to get back to sports.
Yes.
And so when we come back, we're going to come back, look at some of the things going around the NBA and NCAA, and then we're going to look at our brackets, buddy, because I got to show you that during the break.
Yeah.
But
there we go.
That's what we're looking for here.
There be.
That's what we're looking for. Front Street Brewery, the oldest brew pub in the state of Iowa, is nestled beautifully along the bank of the mighty Mississippi. Has served the fine community of Davenport since 1992. Let me tell you about some of their awesome beers that they have on tap and some that we've sampled here with Adam when he comes in on Fridays. Looking forward to that next week. You got the Davenport Gold, a very satisfying American ale. The Wise Guy, their take on an instantly recognizable German wheat, with a Raging River, an English-inspired IPA that's been around since 93. It was inspired by the flood in 93. Think about that. The IPA revolution didn't really start till sometime after 2008. They were that far ahead of it, getting all that. Calling all bars and restaurants. Get a hold of your local distributor. Get Front Street on tap lines, or in your your restaurants and gas stations. Everything else they get them. The restaurant tap room are open. They're going to start brunch next week at the restaurant. So
fancy.
Check out their Facebook page for food and drink specials. Also visit their webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com. We'll be right back with Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us, we're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking things. All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugatz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing. Do they?
It's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it.
Oh,
it is
God.
Right in the garbage.
Right off the right in the garbage. I'm going to throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Dan and Stu, not only is the shipping container headlined by Roy and Chris opening up the Cat's Den pregame, but I have just received word that the shipping container will be playing sumo hockey during the second intermission.
Wow! All right!
Let me know how that goes.
Billy doesn't look in. Why is
Dan,
Billy?
you down for this
Why
too,
is Billy skeptical? Billy, I think I should do that with you guys.
I mean, you're unlucky you won't need a costume.
Because you're fat.
Oh, no.
I heard it the first time off the mic. Thank you, Chris.
Hammered it home, though.
That would be funny. Let's do it that way, actually. You guys are in the costume, and I'm just out there as myself.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Make your next new or used purchase a slam dunk at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll have the full court press advantage each and every time. You'll be treated like a star from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh, yeah. Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
Escúchame, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM. From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170 AM. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local, solving all the sports world's problems, the coronavirus, and bills on the Iowa Senate floor. Mm-hmm. All one day at a time. On a Monday. Killing it. All in 120 minutes. Yes. So we gonna be exempt of something.
Do we get physical education credits for this?
It is a physical requirement. Yes. Over the weekend, Iowa had a big win on Saturday, so that was good for them. Luka Garza is really getting a push for. I mean, obviously he'll be in all Big Ten, but possibility of being Player of the Year in the NCAA. Keeping an eye on them and what's going to happen with the Big Ten tournament as well. In the NBA, big game last night. The Pelicans just fell short, though, to the Lakers, 122-114. LeBron James had his 13th triple-double of the season, 34 points, 12 assists, 13 rebounds. 12 rebounds, 13 assists. Ties him with Luka for the most in the NBA. Zion Williamson had 35 points in the loss. Looking at that, LeBron James is 35 years old. He leads the league in assists and has the Lakers sitting atop the West. Zion is just 19 years old.
Wow.
He
can't even drink yet.
No, he is 4 years older than LeBron's oldest son.
Oh, my God. That is insane to think about.
And he is the first teenager to score 20-plus points in 10 straight NBA games.
It scares me that a teenager is being exposed to the NBA lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder how they do that. You always hope that they kind of
please
ease them into it.
They're not. They're they're hazing him and they're totally shoving it down his throat.
In the Big Easy, no less.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Poor Zion.
So now LeBron has taken the first two of this series between these two. These guys are just two of the most hyped athletes in the 21st century, and now they get to go head-to-head. And there's a shot, if he gets him going, that they could probably be the 8th seed in the NBA in the Western Conference tournament, and that they would have a showdown in the first round, which would make it pretty exciting for the NBA because usually it's first round, unless someone really completely goes out there and just blows it. No one really is paying too much attention. I can't wait till LeBron's 64 and he's 29 and they play each other. Then I really want to see how far they've come.
It's 24 days until Major League Baseball opening day.
So annoyed by
No,
me.
I'm not at all. No.
That's so funny.
24 days.
So what? March Madness?
No.
What? It's 14 days till March Madness, right?
Well, the Big Ten tournament's right around the corner, and then Selection Sunday will be the.
It's the 20th, March 20th.
Selection Sunday is the 15th.
The 15th.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it starts.
It starts on the 19th then.
Okay.
Because 17th is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, the 19th Thursday would be that. The playing games. Yes, I know. It's what it is. Selection Sunday, and then Selection Sunday is on the 15th. So that weekend will be the Big Ten tournament starting on Thursday of that week. That'll be the 13th, 14th, 15th, or 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th.
Well, count me in. I want to get that gambling app on my phone before.
You got to get the gambling, and then you got to fill out a bracket too. Which, by the way, we need to. We will definitely have the contest again this year, where you guys fill out your brackets, and whoever the winner is. What we need a sponsor for this. Somebody. So if you guys know somebody out there that wants to sponsor, I mean, think about how many times we're going to say March Madness and talk about the competition. You're gonna have a lot of mentions here if you sponsor our March Madness program competition where you fill out a bracket. Have you ever filled out a bracket before?
No. And you know what my biggest thing is? I've never been on a fantasy football or anything like that, and I've never known how. It's always annoyed me because I'm the one changing diapers and doing dishes while they play, you know? But now I can do that.
Yeah.
So teach me, Sensei.
And the DraftKings, you can just get it done in no time.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I want to join all the fantasy teams.
Speaking of brackets.
Yes.
On Twitter, and this is like the third year that he's done this. Derek, our friend Derek, and you can follow them at Crapheads, Crapheads Hasslers. So it's at CRAP_heads HEAD. He makes a bracket every year. We've done He did movies before, the best sports movies. We've had best coaches. We've had a bracket for best sports coaches and movies.
Oh my gosh!
What is the best sports movie? Do you think, Bomber?
Best sports movie?
Yes.
Oh, there's so many. The best?
Yeah.
Oh, see, but I played softball, so League of Their Own is my top 5.
Here's something for you. In April, don't know the exact date, they are showing A League of Their Own at Cinemark Theaters.
Yeah.
I think it's just 1 or 2 nights.
Well, I have to go.
Yeah.
Where's that at? Where's Cinemark?
It's right behind Pints.
Okay. Well, I live in Moline. You forget that.
Just go up to 70. Just take 74 over.
Well,
Even all that wraparound that you got to do.
they're all AMC because I'm.
No, Cinemark's doing the April. So if you want, you can take the kids to that.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't see through that. Lyric Mike Cooper would be like, "This is boring. It's a bunch of chicks." You know.
Yeah.
You want to do it. And I just bought them a glove too, so we've been playing catch lately. So they're getting into it. So that's a good timing.
So this year during
What's your
March
favorite
Madness,
sports movie?
It's Rocky.
Oh well, that's not. That is a sport.
That's a sports movie.
See, I think team sports. I'm not thinking.
Well, then there's all kinds of questions there because then I like Hoosiers a lot.
Rudy's
okay. I mean,
really?
yeah, Rudy was all right. I mean, it's okay.
The Natural.
Natural's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I still watch Major League all the time.
Oh God, look at the scoreboard now, Grasshopper. I love him.
So there's the original Bad News Bears.
Yes.
I could watch Hoosiers over and over again. Obviously could watch any of the Rockies. There is so many though out there. I could watch the original Longest Yard. I will entertain the remake, if it's on. So
I mean, Happy Gilmore is pretty good too.
That's worth it. There's a lot of good.
So you got to have your comedy sports films, and then you've got to have your serious, and then like your tearjerkers.
Yeah, I can. Happy Gilmore's good. That's a good. They open the movie well with that. Vision Quest, strange movie, but it's good for wrestling. Not really. Not a lot of wrestling in it, but anyway. All right. So he did movie franchises. So what it was is you had to have like 3 or more movies in the series.
Okay.
And I didn't have this printed off for you, but I'll just give you my region, and we'll break it down from where the teams the ones that they have. So you can. It is seeded 1 through 16.
Okay.
All right, in my region, and again, you can go to Crapheads on Twitter and vote on this.
Cooper's gonna love that name.
Yeah, and the one he gave the number 1 seed in mine is Rocky.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then first round they go up against the 16th seed, Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, that's a sport?
No, this is just movies that had more than 3 or more in their series. All right. So there are movies in here that you're just like, oh, whatever. So the 8th seed in the bracket is Rambo.
I love Rambo.
The 9th is Planet of the Apes. There's a lot of Planet of the Apes there. That's a yeah.
It's a great movie.
4 is Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
3 is Terminator.
I cried during Terminator.
I don't know why.
I was like 7, and remember when he went into the lava and he did the thumbs up at the end?
Oh,
I cried.
That's Terminator 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I was little.
5 is Jason Bourne, the Bourne saga.
Okay.
Versus Godzilla, the 12. 3 is Harry Potter.
Ugh.
14 is Meet the Parents. 6 is the Twilight Saga. 11 is Jaws.
Twilight made it.
It made more than 3 movies. It got a 6 seed though. Yes, they had 3. I mean, they had 3 movies or more. 7 is the Karate Kid.
Okay.
Goes up against Major League.
Daniel.
It's tough. 2 is Mad Max. The 2 seed. That's a pretty high seed for that. 15 is 50 Shades of Grey. I did not know they made 3 of those, but apparently they did.
I didn't know they made any.
I've never seen a single minute of 50 Shades of Grey. Never read the book.
Same.
There, so a lot of those we're going to run into here. Okay. I'll tell you right now, Rocky Witt beats Crocodile Dundee every time.
Yeah.
But Knife Not a Knife is awesome. Say,
he was sexy too. That I don't know who that was. What's his name?
Paul.
Yes.
Paul Hogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a good-looking dude. I remember being little, like he's handsome.
Say, write this down on your piece of paper.
All right.
Write the word raised.
R-A-I-S-D.
Yeah, raised.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, then up.
Uh-huh.
And then say lights.
Raised up lights.
Yeah, raised up lights.
Raised up lights.
That's how the Australians say razor blades. Raised up lights.
Raised up lights. Oh my gosh.
All right. The 8 Rambo versus the number 2 Planet of the Apes. And again, you can go vote on this. What would you take, Rambo or Planet of the Apes?
Rambo, classic. My grandpa was a Green Beret, so I, have some ties.
It's going to be a tough one, Rocky versus Rambo in the second round. Okay, Rambo's fine. I was surprised on the voting, because the voting on this has already started. Indiana Jones was well above Terminator. I don't know why I'm not a big Indiana Jones guy.
Oh, you have dude. What's his name? Fortune Cookie. Who's the cookie? The little dude.
I just know Mr. Jones. I forget his name.
That's a great movie.
That's the second one though.
They're all good.
Yeah.
That was back when sequels in the third they didn't suck. That's when they would make
T2
3 in a row
good.
that were amazing. They don't do that anymore. Now they just do it for money. They don't do it for
Indiana Jones. All right, this one, Jason Bourne versus Godzilla. This is another one that people are like, you got to be kidding me. I've never seen a single Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne anything.
I've never
movie.
seen Godzilla.
I've never seen it. When I was little, I saw like Godzilla versus Mothra or whatever else, but I've never seen one since.
I like Bourne, the first 2, and then after that I was like,
all right, fine. Harry Potter. I've never seen a single Harry Potter.
I've seen the first one.
Meet the Parents. I've seen those. People really like Harry Potter. Our friend Coral comes in every week. She likes Harry Potter, but
yeah, I like the first one, but it's to me it's a little juvenile to keep. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I mean, I like the stories. The books are amazing. I read the books, but the movies are just. I get lost. I'm paying bills and I'm watching magic. I can't adult at the same time. My kids would probably. Lyric is at the age where she'd probably really love it.
The Twilight Saga versus Jaws. Thank you. I watched one Twilight. The wife fell asleep. She said, "How was it?" I said, "Never again.
No,
never again. You're gonna have me do that. Where you're gonna put on that movie, something like that, and fall asleep."
I watched 15 minutes, turned it off.
I'll take Jaws because that was one of the first 3D movies out there.
Jaws was a great movie.
Yeah, but I mean, the Jaws 3 was in 3D.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was in the.
I was little.
Yeah, you were little. All right, this is the tough one. 7 versus a 10. The Karate Kid versus Major League.
Oh, that's tough. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Put him in a body bag.
Major League at the 10 seed definitely takes out the Karate Kid. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
There's some real iffy things about the Karate Kid. We've all gone through and seen How I Met Your Mother, how they say that Daniel-san was actually the bully over Johnny and whatnot. I still think it's weird that the mother allowed that relationship to happen between him and Mr. Miyagi. And she let him take him all the way over to Okinawa on a trip afterwards in Karate Kid 2.
I've never thought about this.
Yeah. I'm more likely to believe that a ragtag bunch of guys can go from worst to first and win their division. I think it was a 1-game playoff.
Well, the Cubs did it.
Yeah. So,
They're just like
So I Major League would win that one. And then Mad Max, I was never a big...
I love Mad Max.
I saw the first one.
That's Mel Gibson, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Thunderdome. And I know Tina Turner had a song in there. And then, like I said, never seen a 50 Shades of Grey, so Mad Max would win that one. But it's that time of year. It's March Madness. You got to start making brackets. But that's just not the only one out of that region. That's the crazy thing, Bomber.
What's that?
It's not the only one it's not the only one.
I have to go. Say the website again.
It's on Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
No.
Okay, well then we're gonna have to share it on.
I'm gonna have to get on Twitter. Everybody keeps telling me get on Twitter. Get on Twitter. The last thing I need is more social media.
Twitter is
Oof.
You want to kill everybody.
I already want to kill everybody.
Then
need anything more?
The Troy region. More writing you got to do. You can just listen to. I'll give you the matchups. You tell me who's gonna win. Okay.
Okay.
The number 1 seed is Star Wars. The number 16 is the Santa Claus.
Star Wars.
Star Wars wins that one. Yeah.
Hands down.
I saw the first Santa Claus. Never saw another one.
Same.
I'm too old for that.
Is that Tim Allen?
Yes.
They're comparing. Are they really comparing those two?
No, he did. It's a number 1 versus a 16, so it's a very low seed.
Yeah. Bracket. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. At number 8 seed is the Dirty Harry saga versus Star Trek.
Dirty Harry.
Really?
Yes. Everybody grew up watching Dirty Harry with their grandpa.
Yeah, but Star Trek, I mean, they got a lot of movies.
Watched. I hated it. I've never liked sci-fi since.
I've seen 2 of the Star Trek movies. The Wrath of Khan one when I was younger, and then they did a remake, but I would say about 10 years ago.
Yeah, no.
At number 4 seed is Shrek versus 13 Madagascar. I did not know they made 3 of those Madagascars, so Shrek wins that.
Shrek. The soundtrack was amazing.
Do the roar.
Do the roar.
Do the roar.
Do the roar.
Number 5. Transformers versus 12 the Muppets. Here's your 12-5 upset. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Muppets over Transformers every time. Transformers is just 2 hours of this.
Did you grow up watching Transformers on Saturday mornings?
Yes.
So I have a Decepticon sticker on my vehicle.
Oh, so does that mean you have a soft spot? Do you think Transformers should not lose to the Muppets?
100%.
Nah, the Muppets, the Great Muppet Caper, the Muppets Take Manhattan, all before 1987.
No,
then you've got the ones that they made afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Fraggle Rock beats the Muppets.
Here's an interesting one at 3. Jay and Silent Bob.
Ooh.
Versus the Police Academy.
Police Academy.
So you've got Clerks, you've got Dogma, you've got Clerks 2, and then you got the they just released another one that I haven't watched all of. They got 4 there. Police Academy. Now once they made it to about 4, I did watch all the Police Academies for a while though.
I saw the guy that did the voices. I saw him live.
Michael Winslow?
Yeah, he was cool.
6 is Barbershop. 11's Medea. 2 movies I've never seen any of their saga whatsoever.
No.
I'll give it to I'll give the winner to Barbershop, higher seed. I like Ice-T more than I like Tyler Perry.
Agreed.
7 is Lethal Weapon versus 10 Beverly Hills Cop.
Lethal Weapon.
That's a great first round matchup.
Lethal Weapon.
I don't know.
Griggs. Come on, Lethal Weapon.
Beverly Hills Cop.
I was supposed to retire.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 2, Jack Ryan versus Halloween. You're going to take 15 there, right? Because your love for scary movies?
Yeah, Halloween.
Never seen a Jack Ryan movie.
Me neither. He doesn't strike me as a, spy-ish guy. He's from The Office, right? Isn't that dude?
Yeah, but I think there's been other ones. I think like Harrison Ford played him too.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, again, it's I wish that I just some of those things I don't.
Short Round. That was his name. I said Fortune Cookie. His name was Short Round. Wow, that was way off.
We got 2 more regions to do. Let's do it after we take a break. We're going to be right back. But first, Done Right TV and Security Solutions are proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions do apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're here for traditions like game night or movie night, and for making them a little more special with a tradition of our own. Casey's Classic Taco Pizza, made fresh with delicious, high-quality ingredients and baked right in our store. And every day this month, you can get a large taco pizza for just $13.99. So order a taco pizza from Casey's and make your tradition more special, even if it's just a last-minute dinner. Casey's, here for traditions, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
See. Very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Dan and Stu, not only is the shipping container headlined by Roy and Chris opening up the Cat's Den pregame, but I have just received word that the shipping container will be playing sumo hockey during the second intermission.
Wow.
All right.
Let me know how that goes.
Billy doesn't look in. Why is Billy?
down for this
Why
too,
is
or
Billy skeptical?
supporting us?
Billy, I think I should do that with you guys.
I mean, you're in luck you won't need a costume.
Oh.
Because you're fat.
Oh, man, no.
I heard it the first time off the mic. Thank you, Chris.
Hammered it home, though.
That would be funny. Let's do it that way, actually. You guys are in the costume, and I'm just out there as myself.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
It's on to postseason tournament action for men's and women's basketball teams at Augustana College. Meanwhile, spring sports are coming out of hibernation. Baseball and softball, tennis and golf, lacrosse and track and field, all coming to a field, court, or course near you. And don't forget about men's volleyball, returning to the Carver Center on March 11th, hosting Greenville. For more event information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
See. Very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. And I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking
Yeah,
things. All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugatz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing. Do they?
It's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it.
Oh,
it is
right in the garbage.
right off the
Right
in the garbage. I'm going to throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
The experts at Helitech know that a sinking foundation is a serious problem. Uneven floors, separated baseboards, windows or doors that stick can all be signs of significant structural damage that needs to be addressed. Call the foundation repair experts at Helitech to get your free estimate today. If you don't address your foundation issues, they will lead to more serious issues, such as bowed walls, water damage, and even structural collapse. As your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years, Helitech uses industry-leading solutions to repair your sinking foundation. Your home is the largest investment you will typically make. Who better to trust with your family's home than Helitech? They healed my home. They'll heal yours too. Helitech.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Win stuff. Yes, you. Download the ESPN 1170 app today. Be a winner from the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170. Don't hassle us. We're local. We're live in the Hassle Castle. Brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. It's March Madness. Woo! And before we went to break, we were looking at some of the regions that of a March Madness tournament, a bracket style, that our friends on Twitter at Crapheads, the Craphead Hasslers, put together. And every day there's like voting all day long. Like, so for example, the voting that's going on right now, Bomber.
Yeah.
Is and I'm logged in as us on Twitter, so you can vote for. All right, whatever you say, I'll vote. Okay.
Okay.
And it's got 17 hours left. Mad Max. We already talked about this because we're still in my region. Okay.
Okay.
Mad Max or 50 Shades of Grey? Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Okay, voted. It's winning right now. It's 76.9%.
Oh, thank God.
Karate Kid or Major League?
I'm gonna go Karate Kid. You said Major League.
I'll vote for whatever you say because I asked.
Well, I'm going Major League.
Too late. I already said it.
Ah.
It's all right. Major League's winning. Twilight Saga versus Jaws. We said Jaws.
Jaws.
Jaws is winning right now. The upset. Harry Potter versus Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Not winning. All right. Those are going on today. He does it every once in a while.
That's fun.
So we went through my region. We went through Troy's region. This is Serge's region. He's got a pretty good region. Remember, it's 1 versus a 16 in bracket style, okay?
Uh-huh.
So the number 1 scene is The Godfather. We're doing saga. So what they did here is they took movies that you had to have at least 3 in the series to do it. It can't just be like a 1 and 2. So The Godfather got the 1.
Okay.
And the 16 seed is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise.
Godfather, yeah.
Good 8 and 9 seed right here. American Pie versus The Hangover.
Ooh, American Pie.
American Pie, actually, I would say all 3 of them held up, whereas The Hangover didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4. John Wick versus Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
I agree. I don't know a thing about John Wick.
The first one was good. The rest were meh.
The Dark Knight trilogy versus the X-Men. Dark Knight's a 5-12 is the X-Men.
X-Men. I love X-Men. I'm a Marvel fan, so.
You're Marvel over DC?
Yes.
That's a big upset. Would be there. Number 3 seed is Fast and Furious versus the Chronicles of Narnia.
Never seen any of the Fast and Furious.
I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious. I've never seen any of the Chronicles of Narnia.
I had somebody go on a movie. They're like, look, watch Fast and Furious 8. I was like, no. If there's an 8 behind it, I am not watching it.
I've never seen it. I've never tried to. I never
Chronicles
saw
of Narnia are good, and I read that book as well. So I'm going to go with that.
Number 6 is Alien versus number 11, Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11. Wait, is that the girls?
I think they end up doing, they end up being like
then
Ocean's.
I want the other one.
Well, Ocean's 11 originally was the guys.
I like the guys.
And then
The girl one was the girl one sucked.
Well, it's under the saga though, under the umbrella of the Ocean's 11 franchise.
Well, then I have to go with that because Brad Pitt and John Clooney in the same movie.
Okay. 7 Scream versus 10 Scary Movie franchise.
Scream.
Another good first round. I like where the theme was at. Number 2, James Bond versus number 15, Austin Powers.
Ooh. I'm going to go Austin Powers. See, it's tough.
I can't tell you a single James Bond. I mean, I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3, maybe. But I think it was more when I was younger, so it'd be like Sean Connery or Roger Moore.
Yeah. Sean Connery. Get in my belly.
So and they were on because there was nothing else on the TV. Austin Powers, I think.
Was it still black and white when you were watching it then?
I don't know. That's the first round of those there. And then finally the Hassler region. The number 1 seed in the Hassler region is the Avengers. It goes up against Air Bud. That's a no-brainer.
Oh, my gosh. Air Bud, no question.
What is Millennium series?
Millennium.
Versus Saw.
I'm going to go Saw because I don't know what that is, and Saw's amazing.
Okay. He left one out here, and it might be something in the comments here. Where is it? Finally, sort of. I don't know who the 4 versus whatever is blank here. Is Mission Impossible. So we'll move on. Toy Story at a 5 versus Ice Age at a 12. Toy Story survives.
Oh, I like Ice Age too.
You gotta be kidding me. You like some of the weirdest things. Ice Age, I didn't even make it. I couldn't even make it all the way through that.
I like the squirrel in the beginning, okay?
Oh, that was a good preview. I'll tell you that. I remember seeing the preview in the theater, and I was like, yeah, he is.
He had a tough life, okay?
Really going after that acorn, yeah.
Came through. It just shows you the diligence and persistence pays
I'm not
off.
a Toy Story guy either, though, by the way.
Yeah, Woody annoys me.
I'm really... People are like, oh, I cried, this and that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Forky was pretty cool. I liked Forky.
That one was
When they were taking a walk and he fell, he's like, carry me. I died. That was the funniest part of a movie I've seen in a long time. Because if you have kids, that's what they do.
Yeah. Number 3, Back to the Future.
Okay.
Versus a 14 seed Pirates of the Caribbean.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. 6, The Hunger Games.
Okay.
Versus number 11, Paranormal Activity.
Hunger Games.
2 franchises I've never seen a single
Hunger
movie.
Games are good. I've seen them. The first 2.
Number 7 seed in the Hassel region is The Matrix versus Bad Boys for their franchise.
Never seen The Matrix, but Bad Boys I have seen.
I'll go with the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
I have not seen the latest one. Have you seen the latest one?
No.
Me neither.
But I will.
2. The 2 seed in here is The Lord of the Rings versus Home Alone.
Home Alone all day. You know why? Because The Hobbit ruined the whole series for me.
Never saw
4 hours of nothing. No, I loved The Lord of the Rings. The first 2 or 3 were amazing. And then The Hobbit, I was like, it's 3 hours of nothing. It's literally a Hobbit walking around.
I've never seen it.
It's awful. Worst movie ever made. Ever. Well, close. Not good, not good.
I think the Avengers has a strong way of making it all the way through here on their side of the bracket. I would see Toy Story to see on the upper side. Back to the Future, it looks like Back to the Future would, I think Back to the Future would go into the finals as a 3 seed against the Avengers. I think it would overtake Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Back
Avengers
to the Future.
So I think if we had to pick so if we said the Avengers, do you like the Avengers because you like Marvel?
I like Marvel.
That's Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Surge's region, Godfather?
Mm-hmm. I would pick Godfather.
Yeah, because the 2 and the 3, we don't even, like James Bond, you already had him losing to Austin, and Fast and Furious, we won't watch that. 4, John Wick's not taking him out. Dark Knight, you didn't even have him get out of the first round, but they're not going to take that. It's not taking Godfather. I mean,
no.
Godfather, it may have its flaws in Godfather 3, but it holds up.
It's one of the best movies of all time.
Troy region, it's got to be Star Wars. That's a strong one all the way through. I mean, that's Star Wars, right?
Right.
And I can see, and the thing is, here's the thing about, again, since all this is on Twitter, and you can vote on this at follow at Crapheads, Craphead Hasslers, whatever else. This will be only to get me going that everyone would like vote for something over Rocky to knock it out of here. Mad Max is a 2. I don't see it. Harry Potter is a 3. Is not going to knock off Rocky. Karate Kid or Major League could knock off Rocky.
No.
Indiana Jones in the semis could knock off Rocky.
See, they're on the same playing field, the Indiana Jones.
So
I don't know. I'm gonna go home and watch Sweep the Leg though, because now it's just in my brain. I gotta.
You're gonna go home and watch Karate Kid now?
Yes. All these Indiana Jones. I'm gonna introduce my kids to Indiana Jones.
Have you ever heard the theory that Daniel is the bully in the thing?
Yes, but that's in almost every movie. Just like Walking Dead. You don't watch Walking Dead, but everybody says that Negan is doing the same thing that Rick is doing, but Rick is the good guy. Why he's the good guy, you know? Why is he the good guy? They're doing the same thing. And I tell people that all the time. They're like, you're crazy. No, Negan's the good guy.
That's my theory of the Starks, how the Starks are the evil, are the real villains in Game of Thrones.
Same thing.
They're not doing the right things.
I think the Decepticons are the good guys. You know? I don't know. I think that the bad guys are misunderstood in a lot of ways because it's how you write it. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. The thing is that you just you had William Zabka just playing a bully all the time in 80s movies, and so they just automatically put him in.
Didn't he wear sweaters wrapped around his neck too?
I think
Didn't I just tell you that's a theory? Anybody who wears a sweater around their neck
maybe
is
he
a bully.
did, and I don't even not even in just one of the guys.
But he had the long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That wavy hair that you could just flip your head over.
And he just had that punchable face too.
Mm-hmm. He's got a very punchable face.
Very punchable face. And sweepable legs.
He looks like someone I know. Anyway, but so you're gonna. I mean, the Karate Kid. I was in 2nd grade when the Karate Kid came out. Pretty much, kind of like right away, like all of a sudden, I was trying to do the crane kick on every tree, every tree stump in my neighborhood. But I never did karate. Your kids are in it.
They're in karate. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have it tonight.
Maybe they should watch Karate Kid.
Yeah, I think that Cooper would love it. Lyric.
Do not watch the remake.
No, the first one.
Yeah.
You gotta introduce it to him slowly.
God, there are a lot of flaws with that movie.
But I'm gonna be pausing it every 5 minutes. Okay, so here's what's happening. You know, I'm gonna annoy the heck out of them. They do the same thing to me when they make me watch YouTube videos.
Like, it just I lose my mind when Daniel goes on the date with Allie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at the amusement park type of thing, amusement park / arcade.
Yeah.
And he lets her drive the
go-kart.
The go-kart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Well, he is kind of a pansy.
I mean, come on.
But he's a pansy, you know.
And I understand we're in the middle now. We're in the middle of a Me Too movement, but in '83,
I still would get mad if a guy. No, if we're going out, you're picking me up and you're driving.
Well, his mom had to pick him up and drop him off because he didn't have his license yet. And his BMX bike he couldn't ride because the the bad guys beat up.
The bad guys took it. The guys with the sweaters.
Mr. Miyagi hasn't fixed his bike yet, but the guys with the sweaters.
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same in the movie Big. Remember, it's always the little weak guy that gets the girl, though. It always happens that way in 80s movies. That's why guys our age are all messed up.
You have to be at it.
And girls, because we always go for the cuter ones with the big brown eyes, and then no. Just saying.
Just saying. Well, if you do you have a lot of movies that you replay for your kids? You got to watch this. Like I said, I didn't care that she was. It's one of those. They don't. My daughter's 10. I watched Breakfast Club when I was 10.
That's about the age that I probably watched it.
But
would watch it.
For a 10-year-old, she's pretty smart to know that what's appropriate, what's not.
Yes. Oh,
right?
I'm the type of parent. Like, I had HBO in my bedroom when I was 5.
Okay.
My mom was a single mom. She worked or she was out, and so I took care of myself. I grew up and I never, hurt anybody. Never, did all that. So it's not TV. It's how you raise them. It's what they know.
Mm-hmm.
So Lyric's allowed to watch cuss words in movies. Cooper, I have to filter because Cooper will walk around and repeat everything that was just.
That's then see, like I said, that's the way my son is. Okay, his whole thing is to say swear words.
But he'll ask Cooper, like, "Mom, can I say it?
Oh,
Mom,
yeah.
can I say it?" And I'll say no, but he'll keep asking it'll be fine one time. So I'll let him say it, and then it's.
Gotta get it out of the system.
Gotta get it out. Boys are different than girls. Lyric won't even say it if I give her permission. She'll be like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." She's a sweetheart. Girls are little angels.
Speaking of sports movies, I mentioned Vision Quest earlier. We just had last week. We had the state wrestling championships for high school. Just a weekend ago. This past weekend, they had the AAU for kids that are like 4th through 8th grade, and the girls stayed AAU through 4th all the way through high school. I want to remind everybody: if you just won your first state championship, you've now become shoot in Vision Quest, and somewhere Loudon Swain is training to beat you.
What?
So you are the one that's being marked. So you can't sit on your hands and just think that you're a state champion now, because now someone is training to beat you. I want to remind you that the season never ends. Keep training for it. There is a new sports movie coming out. Ben Affleck's going to be the guy.
The coach?
Yeah.
I was going to say, please don't let him be the star athlete.
No.
Okay. Well, you never know. Go ahead.
I forget the name of it already, but it's supposed to be
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, it's called The Way Back. And
okay. Sounds racist.
Huh?
Sounds racist.
No, he's a former high school. Now, about a former high school basketball phenom struggling with alcoholism is offered a coaching job at his alma mater. As his team starts to win, he may have a reason to confront his old demons.
Ooh.
But will it be enough to set him on the road to redemption? Looks pretty good.
I don't know.
Comes out this week, March 6th.
Theaters, huh?
Only an hour and 48 minutes. I'm in.
I think I'll wait till it comes out on Direct or Amazon.
I can tell you what happens.
Oh, it's so predictable. I can tell by just that little caption you said. I can tell you exactly what happens.
I'm in. Let me tell you something. The reclining seats, a cocktail, a basketball movie.
All right.
Under 2 minutes? 2 hours?
Yeah. You're making it sound more appealing right now. Unless Ben Affleck is a stockbroker, I don't really want to see him in any movie.
Unless he is a stockbroker?
Yes, that was his best role ever.
Like the accountant, you mean?
No. Well, that was good. Oh. No, I'm talking about, what is it? Rounders. Wasn't it Rounders?
Not Rounders.
What is it? Where he's the stockbroker and he's like,
50. The boiler. It's not the boiler
room. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, Bomber.
Great in that. Yes.
Are you busy tomorrow? Are you going to be in? Do we not know that yet? Your schedule?
I do not know yet. I have an ortho appointment.
But we are going to have Coral in, and Hannah. She's going to bring Hannah in as well. We'll have Jake from.
Stay Front.
Yep. No, from Elite Sportsbook will be in tomorrow. T-Roy will be back. We don't know much about if Serge is going to be, but we will have a packed show tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun as well. Maybe Bomber will be able to grace us with a presence. You guys have a hassle-free Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. Enjoy your March tonight, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye. The actual March. You're
Love,
actually
peace,
the
and
people that are
chicken
marching.
grease.
Yeah.
I did it for you, Troy.